Today's topic, the psychology of the Great Resignation. Okay, I'm your host. Now, since this 2020 pandemic, there has been a so-called Great Resignation where many people are quitting their jobs, abandoning their careers in favor of something they perceive to be better. Something they perceive to be a better alternative. Okay? When exactly did this Great Resignation start? Some argue it started several years and even decades ago and was accelerated by the recent worldwide pandemic. Okay? But what is the psychology behind it? Why? Why is it happening? And what is the psychology of both the employers and the people engaging in this Great Resignation? Today, we will discuss the overall psychology behind the so-called Great Resignation on both sides. This means the psychology of the workers along with the psychology of the employers. And why they are clashing today. Now, in summary, I would say this, okay? The overall arching psychology behind the Great Resignation is that human beings, people, grown men and women, adults, do not like being treated like children, and frequently that is what employers do. They treat grown adults like children, okay? Corporate cringe, okay? And this, now, we are going to go down and list a few key reasons why this Great Resignation is taking place and the psychology behind it. Reason number one, okay? Employers are not loyal, okay? There was a time when an employee would get a job and work at that job for the rest of their life. 30, 40, 50 years and then retire at the end of it, okay? This is no longer the case as people have discovered that employers are not loyal to their employees. Employers care about profits primarily, okay? Profits before people. And there's nothing wrong with this as employers are not charities. They do not exist solely for the purpose of employing people. They exist to provide a product or service to the public in exchange for profits, okay? How they go about this can range from hiring people, using automated systems, etc. So, companies should be understood and businesses should be seen as what they are. They do not exist as a charity. Therefore, we should not expect them to behave as such. However, there is the issue of leverage. Okay? The rise of automation means many jobs will disappear in the future. Some employees and workers feel they are wasting their time investing years of their lives into a company or into a job that will be phased out or replaced by automation in the future. And they are fully aware of the fact that their employers are not loyal to them. And the minute they can hire a younger, cheaper person or automate that job, they will do it without hesitation. Okay? So, people are choosing to abandon the employer before the employer abandons them, and you cannot blame them for playing the same game that is being played against them, okay? Reason number two, employers are abusive and entitled, okay? Employers are often very quick to attack workers for being lazy or unproductive when they don't want to play by the rules of the employer or fit the employer culture. Now, the employer's job is to motivate their workers to get the best out of them. Many employers simply don't know how to motivate without using fear or other outdated toxic approaches that younger workers increasingly have no patience for. Okay? So, many workers are saying, I am not going to tolerate this abuse. I'm not going to tolerate this uneven dictatorial fashion. I am going to do something else because there is more to life than being a slave to an employer. And if I have the choice to not do that, I am going to choose to not do that. Okay? Now, we know that the millennial and so-called Generation Z generations are criticized frequently for being too sensitive. But one must also ask the question of, to what degree is this the truth versus just a perspective? Is this younger generation too sensitive, or do they just have higher standards for human conduct? That's an important question for many employers to ask. Many employers who have an entitled attitude and feel they just deserve employees to be loyal to them, despite getting no loyalty in return, and to be abusive towards their employees when their employees do not have the power to be abusive in return. Okay? Because employees are increasingly looking at employment as more of a partnership, an even exchange. I, the employee, provide you with a service in exchange for paid compensation. Okay? And that is an even exchange. That is not a situation where one should have leverage over the other, but employers like to have leverage and power over their employees, and employees are increasingly getting wise to it and tired of it, partially because of their additional options. Okay? Remember, the employer wants the most work for the least amount of payment and investment into their workers. This is generally their attitude towards the public and the people they hire. Yet, they are surprised when workers want the most money for the least amount of work, and they are quick to call these people lazy. What do you expect? You are being played the very game you are playing, and you don't like it. Okay? Your workers will never be more loyal to you than you are to them. And since employers have no loyalty whatsoever to their employees, guess what? Employees have become hip to the game and have no loyalty whatsoever either. Sorry, not sorry. Okay? Number three. Employers want employees to work not for the job they have, but for the job they are aspiring to. And you would be glad to know this channel has an older video that covers this topic, which you can find in the link below, called Why Everybody is Underpaid. And basically the gist of this is employers want your employees to go above and beyond. It's not enough to hire somebody to do a particular job and expect them to show up every day and do that job. No. They must do more than that job. They must go above and beyond. They must show their dedication and loyalty to the job. Guess what? That is not part of the job description. Okay? So what you have is a situation where you hire somebody for one job, but you try to get them to work for less, essentially, because they are working for the job they are aspiring to. And then when they get promoted to the higher level, they are now expected to work for the level above that, to prove that they are willing to go above and beyond. This expectation to go above and beyond allows employers to underpay their staff. Okay? And people are getting hip to it. Employees want a partnership, not a dictatorship. Okay? Reason number 4. Today's workforce increasingly hates bosses. Okay? There's a reason why this whole be your own boss trend has taken off so aggressively in recent years. The idea of being your own boss, financial freedom. And it has allowed various get-rich-quick gurus and gig work, side hustle, passive income, promoting individuals to rise in popular culture due to the idea of screw your boss. This once again goes back to the idea that people grown adults do not like being treated like children. Bosses should be more like coaches. This is how the newer generation views it. Bosses should be coaches, not dictators. Reason number 5 for the Great Resignation. Office politics, enforced socializing. Okay? Again, this goes back to the hidden job requirements in every job. You apply for a job, it has a list of requirements that you need to follow. But there is also a ghost list, a hidden list of requirements that are not part of the job description, but you will be judged aggressively based on your compliance with these hidden job requirements. Okay? And among these hidden job requirements include dealing with office politics. Forced socializing has become an important skill. Forced socializing in office politics, in many cases, becomes more important than skill, talent, and performance. Somebody who can use their political abilities, their social abilities, to rise to the top in the corporate structure despite having less talent, less skill, less ability than somebody who is a little bit more antisocial, somebody who does not go to the happy hours and the forced socializing events, which, by the way, are often outside of normal work hours, therefore not part of the job description, but wink wink are actually part of the job description. Employers create these hidden requirements that have nothing to do with the actual job you signed up for, that have nothing to do with the job you actually signed up for. So, you have to do the normal tasks associated with your job in addition to fitting into the corporate culture, kissing ass, brown nosing, going to social events outside of normal work hours that have nothing to do with the actual work you do. And of course, being friends with your boss and your coworkers. Again, not part of the job description, but yes, actually part of the job description. Okay. Reason number 6 for this great resignation we're going through. Reason number 6. The internet, okay? The internet. Once again, gig work, side hustles, passive income, get-rich-quick gurus, pyramid schemes. All of these have planted the seeds in people's minds that there are other ways to reach their goals that don't require them to work in a corporation or work for a company directly with a boss. And with these seeds planted into the heads of millennials and Gen Z, the seeds in the heads of the millennials and Gen Z, especially that the traditional model of work for a corporation is not always necessary to achieve their goals. Think about this. If given a choice between being a corporate slave and being your own boss, what would you choose if the latter seems more attractive? What would you choose? What would you choose? When you are your own boss, not only do you not have to deal with corporate politics and all these hidden job requirements, but you also have the freedom over your schedule that you like, in addition to unlimited income potential. This has become much more attractive than working hard for an employer that has no loyalty to you whatsoever and may replace you with somebody younger and cheaper, or even with a robot or a computer at the first opportunity given to them. Okay? So this once again goes back to the theme of people do not like being treated like children. Even children don't like being treated like children a lot of times. Think about it. Okay? Prior to the boom of the internet and gig work and YouTube celebrities and people are getting rich overnight from developing apps or buying cryptocurrency. Before all of this, people saw the traditional model of being an employee as the only way. But today, the abundance of information and the word of mouth spreading knowledge of the various alternatives people have to reach the same goal has made the traditional job less and less attractive to the average worker in the developed world. Okay. Rather than climbing the corporate ladder, many would rather develop skills at their jobs and then later move on to start their own business. Okay. The Great Resignation is simply a reaction to a corporate environment that is not changing with the times and not adjusting to the values of the new generation. The new generation does not value what the baby boomer generation values, and the baby boomer generation is not happy about it and unwilling to adjust. So for as long as they are unwilling to adjust, they will find it harder and harder to attract top talent. And those who cannot adjust will die when their boomer workforce retires and they cannot replace them with a younger workforce due to that younger workforce being repulsed by their corporate culture, their politics, and their other nonsense that people have grown tired of dealing with, okay?
I feel like a little boy who's lost his first tooth, put it under his pillow waiting for the tooth fairy to come. Only two evil burglars have crept in my window and snatched it before she could get here. They got my tooth. I want it back.
Please like, comment, subscribe to this channel. You will subscribe to this channel. And watch my other videos. I have plenty of other videos. So please make sure you watch those videos. Post in the comments below your insults, your arguments, your compliments, video ideas you would like me to talk about, you would like this channel to address. Okay. Thank you for watching. Cheers.